Really quick, before we start today's video, I wanted to take a moment and tell everyone thank you for the continued support on the channel. So I finally hit 1,000 subscribers, and that means a lot to me. And I really do appreciate you guys taking the time out to check out the content and give me feedback and engage with me on each one of my videos. To show my appreciation, I'm going to be giving away this Recaro wallet as well as this Recaro backpack. To be eligible to win, all you have to do is 1, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. 2, turn on post notifications so that way you guys stay up to date with each one of my uploads. 3, follow me on Instagram. And 4, comment below with how it is that you found my channel. I'm just curious. I want to know how people actually found my channel. Again, thank you for the continued support. This is just one giveaway of hopefully many in the future. If there's anything specific that you guys would like to see in the future, let me know. I'm always open to suggestions. But yeah, with that being said, let's go ahead and get into today's video. All right, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. So today's goal is to actually get the motor into the car today. So there's a couple things that I have to do before that can happen. So I actually have to go ahead, finish putting the harness on, or actually get started putting the harness on. I have aftermarket injectors, I have FICs, and I don't have plug and play adapters. I actually have to wire those connectors into the harness. I'm gonna extend them a little bit as well. That way I can actually tuck the harness, have it running underneath the intake manifold so that way it's hidden. Because I do actually have a metal valve cover that's going on here. I may actually be picking that up later today. If not, it won't be till Monday. In addition to extending those wires, I'm gonna extend the wires that go to this sensor as well, because normally it would run over top of the valve cover. But with that valve cover being nice and powder coated, I don't want it covered up by wires because of how nice it looks. So I'm actually gonna run them around the side here, I think is how I'm gonna do it. So I have to extend the wires just a little bit. And then I should be good. So I'm gonna go ahead, throw that harness on. I actually still have to put the rear main seal on. After that, I can throw the flywheel on and the clutch, get the motor onto the engine hoist, let it down a little bit so that way I can bolt the transmission up. Before I can actually bolt the transmission up, I actually wanna go ahead and replace that throwout bearing. At that point, I should be able to make those together. That being the motor and the transmission, and then we can drop it in the car. I actually went ahead and kind of like wiped down the engine bay just a little bit, like nothing too crazy, like right over here in this spot here, or across the frame rail there. Just a little bit so that way it looks okay, I guess. If I had a pressure washer and I was able to move the car, I'd probably just pressure washer it. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. I'm gonna try to knock this out as quickly as possible so that way we can get yet another step closer to getting this car back on the road. All right, injector clips have been added in, so we're good to go there. I actually decided to solder them. I'm not a huge fan of soldering, but I figured this route would look probably the cleanest. Plus I suck at soldering, so now that's ready to go. That's good to go on. But before I actually put that on, I'm gonna install the new oil feed line that came in as well. So let's go ahead and get that opened up, get that put on, and then after that is done, we can go ahead and add on the harness. So it's like it comes with obviously the line itself and a couple banjo bolts and 2 sets of copper washers for the banjo bolts. So let's go ahead and get this opened up and thrown on the block. lines on nice and tight. And I didn't have to take the turbo off. All right, harness is on. Didn't take long at all, actually. I felt like it took longer to actually remove it than it did to actually put it onto the motor. Probably because it was my first time ever removing the harness from this. That's probably why it took a bit longer, but yeah, no problem at all getting it on there, so we're good to go. So I extended the wires for the injectors and then this plug here, so that way I don't have anything going over the valve cover. It looks like it's gonna work out okay. Hopefully everything, there's no issues when it comes to startup. But now that that's finished, the time has finally come for me to take it off the engine stand. I actually need to put on the rear main seal because I actually didn't do that. Install the flywheel and the clutch, and then after that I can mate it together with the transmission, and at that point it should be good to go to actually drop it into the car. So again, let's get to work. All right, so transmission is bolted up and it's time to put it in the car. Hopefully this goes smooth because when I pull the motor and trans out together, originally it was kind of a pain, like trying to figure out what angle to actually do it at, but I made it happen nonetheless. Now after I get it in, I get the motor set into the mounts and everything. I will be putting this valve cover on the motor. So I had it powder coated wrinkle red and it turned out perfect. I love the color. I don't know, I've always been a fan of wrinkle paint, period, but wrinkle red always looks good to me, in my opinion. Don't want to risk scratching it up, so it's gonna go in with the plastic one on there. So I'm trying to get this motor in this evening, so let's go ahead and make this happen. So I'm gonna go ahead and set this camera up on the tripod, get the motor jacked up in the air, and hopefully get it in there quickly. Okay, so the motor is in the bay, as you can see. So hard part number 1 is complete. Hard part number 2 is getting everything to line up as far as the engine mounts go. I'm actually gonna do that off camera. I'm gonna go ahead and knock that out. Gonna go ahead and throw the axles in, put fluids in, all that good stuff. Actually, I might wait to put fluids in. But next video should be wiring up the oil pressure gauge, and fingers crossed, hopefully the first start. So if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe so that way you stay up to date on the Evo content, the Evo build. I appreciate you guys checking out the video, and I will see you guys in the next one.